What if your calendar is a cage you built yourself? If you could erase every deadline and start fresh, would you still be the same person? In the dusty workshop of the Clockmakers Guild, Otto spent his days obsessed with precision. He believed time was a series of gears that had to click perfectly into place. His apprentice, a young girl named Ines, watched him work for years. Otto kept a massive master clock in the center of the shop. He spent his nights polishing its brass. He was terrified that a single loose screw would mean he was no longer useful. He saw every second as a resource to be saved, rarely pausing to eat or speak. Ines preferred to watch the window. She spent her hours sketching the shifting shadows of the trees outside. One Tuesday, Otto noticed Ines staring at a puddle reflecting the morning sun instead of filing the gears. He stormed over, his face red with anger. He snatched the sketch pad from her hands and waved it in the air. "Time is not for idle drawings." Otto snapped. "We have the midnight order to finish. Every tick is like spending money." Ines did not apologize. She walked to the master clock and picked up a heavy iron wrench. She jammed it firmly between the main gears. The machine made a harsh, rhythmic sound before it shuddered and groaned to a stop. The room became deathly quiet. The constant, nagging ticking that had ruled Otto's life for 40 years vanished. Otto gasped and clutched his chest. He lunged for the wrench, but Ines stepped between him and the clock. She pointed to the window. The sun was moving across the floor even though the clock was silent. The world outside remained bright and alive. It did not care that the clock was broken. "The gears have stopped, Otto," Ines said softly. "But the light is still changing. Nothing has actually ended." Otto looked at the silent clock, then at his shaking hands. He had spent his entire life afraid of this moment. He believed that a stopped clock meant his life was over. But as he watched a dust mote dance in a sunbeam, he realized the world had not frozen. He felt a strange, cooling lightness in his chest. He did not fix the clock. Instead, Otto walked to the back of the shop and pulled a heavy wooden shutter open. He let the afternoon light flood the workspace for the first time in a decade. He grabbed a broom and began to sweep the dust from the corners. He watched the dirt swirl in the air. He was not tracking seconds anymore. He was simply moving, breathing, and living in the present. He left the broken machine to gather dust in the corner. We often mistake our own worries for the actual passage of time. True life begins only when we stop measuring our worth by the limits we have built. Let go of your schedule and step into the light of the present moment.